All right. So welcome to the February Humboldt Park, Chicago Avenue Community Roundtable. My name is Ernest Bellamy. I am the project manager for the Invest Southwest Humboldt Park, Chicago Avenue corridor. Just wanted to kind of go over the agenda for today. Just some quick updates, reminder update on the NOF, as well as update on how things stand at the Joint Public Safety Training Campus Phase 1A. And then a greater talk around our RFP, corridor RFP, the release date, the project team, and the opportunity sites we will be discussing ahead of Friday's visioning session. So with that, just wanted to thank all of our partners who continue to come back to the roundtable, those listed here, as well as those not listed. Please email me if your name's not on here so I can throw you on the list and make sure you're well represented in this text format as well. To kick it off, I'm going to transition it over to Sophia Carey to kind of give it a reminder update on NOF.
Awesome, thanks. Let's see. So I know that for some of you are constantly hearing about the NOF Small Grants Program. So I just wanted to make sure not to take up too much of your time. But for those who maybe are less familiar, make sure that you have just the very basic information about the program. Is there a way I can share some slides?
Yes, I will release so you can.
You are awesome. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, here we go. Share screen. Thank you very much. Okay. So let me just run through this real quick. You guys can all see the screen, the deck, right? Cool, thanks. So this is the most pertinent slide for today. We are getting ready to open up for round 1, Monday, March 8th. So that is not next week, but the week after that. It's the 2nd week of March, and it's going to be open until Friday, April the 9th. So approximately 1 month for applications, just to make sure that as our partners, you guys are aware, and if you know of any potential applicants, to go ahead and give them, if they're not already familiar with this time period, to give them a little nudge and let them know that it's coming up. This 1 month period falls into our general schedule for the year, which basically means that we would hope to make finalist announcements for this upcoming round in June, and then open up again for a 2nd round of applications August, September. So basically end of the summer, fall for round 2, with another announcement right before the holidays. To give everyone kind of a perspective of how these times or these, anticipated dates work, we always have a month. If we can, we try and have a little over a month for interested parties to apply. But our application review process typically is about 2 months, because we do review every single application we get. And it goes through multiple rounds of selection to get to kind of that final list of finalists. Once the announcement is made for the finalists, there is also an onboarding process where we really need to focus on maintaining the momentum that the announcement gives us, and make sure that the finalists continue to do what they need to do to finalize their project scope and get, shovels in the ground, or, get contractors into buildings just to begin their work. So between application review taking 2 months and the onboarding taking another 2 months, that, you know, is 4 months out of the period. And then we always try and save about a month to prepare for the next rollout. So every time we do one of these rollouts, it's a 6-month kind of timeline, and we are trying to do 2 every year. So if there are folks that you are aware of that you don't think are going to be quite ready for March, never fear. There is going to be another one in August. The rest of the slides I'm not going to go through too much, because it basically is our general information session deck, which I think many of you have already seen. But if there are specific questions, happy to answer them right now. I do want to go through real quick, just a reminder of the eligible applicants. So we're pretty open. We will take applications from any commercial property owner that has a known business use. So the key here is we can't do speculative, and we can't do vanilla box projects. So any property owner that comes in and says, oh, I just want to do some office space, they can apply, but they're probably not going to be very competitive, because we do want to know what that end business use is going to be. We will also take applications from tenants, as long as their landlord is aware and agrees to the construction work that they are proposing. Nonprofits are welcome to apply, but they have to have a revenue generating commercial activity. So if this is an office space for a nonprofit that is operating purely on government grants or donations, and is not providing some sort of revenue generating service to the public, that is not something that is covered for the NOF's program. And then, of course, for our project, or for our program, we have the qualified investment area. So the projects have to be within our area. Let's see. We will work with applicants who are interested in expansion or innovation projects, as well as existing businesses that are working on a second or, you know, moving to a new location. And then also new construction. So anyone who is, has done their planning and is ready to, build something from the scratch in the time period of approximately 24 months, we are more than happy to work with them as well. And then, as a reminder, we have 2 program tracks. We have a small grant and a large grant track. So all of the information I'm talking about right now is really specific to the small grants track. So that's any applicant who's interested in getting a grant of $250,000 or less. For the large grants track, that is handled by our financial incentives team under the leadership of Tim Jeffries. So for anyone who is interested in large grants track, I believe they are currently taking applications as well. They just need to reach out to Tim and his team to get that application going. The other quick reminder I wanted to make is just about the eligible priority and Invest Southwest corridors. As you all know, the NOF program is very much supportive of the Invest Southwest initiative, but we do expand slightly outside of those corridors. And so we have 3 types of corridors that are available for the small grants. There's eligible, which is your basic, you're in our NOF QIA and you're in a commercial corridor. We have priority, which for us basically means we know there's already been some work there and some activity. So, we want to continue to add and build on the momentum that's already there. And then, of course, our highest level is Invest Southwest corridors, which are all the corridors that have been designated for the Invest Southwest program. If you remember last month when we went through the finalists, we had just a little over a third of our finalists in the last round be Invest Southwest corridors, and then the remainder was eligible and priority. So we did cover all 3 types of sites and corridors in the program last round. Those are kind of the key highlights I wanted to bring today. Happy to answer any questions from the group, or provide any additional information that you think you need at this time. If not, I'm going to turn things over back to Ernest and just say thanks again.
Sophia,
and,
I'm sorry.
Look forward to it.
I'm sorry, this is Maurice at the YMCA. In reference to this, I think it was the previous slide that noted, if you could go back, I just want to make sure that.
The one about eligible applicants or the types of projects or the schedule?
Types of projects. So types of, go back to the other one, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, well, I can't see it now, but it was a statement about the renovation being for a revenue generating service.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right here. Yeah.
So can you kind of just break that down for in the YMCA, so to speak, with nonprofits, right? So our revenue generation is, fee for service programs through camps or other sports activities. Would that align with a renovation project that could possibly be submitted for here? For instance, just being totally transparent, we're in dire need of renovation of our gymnasium. And it has potential to service a lot of additional families and kids and programs. Would that be something in the scope that would be considered the type of relationship you're looking at?
Yeah, it could. That's a really good question. It could. I think we really need to kind of delve into the details that are presented in the application. The challenge is that generally social services types organizations that provide workforce development or school after daycare, after school daycare center type activities are generally not eligible for this, but we're happy to look. I will say that we get a lot more eligible projects than we can actually fund. And so sometimes it's just a matter of what else is coming in and what kind of is it, are they bringing in new amenities to an area that is, in need of it? So I would say, like an example, not quite the same as a gymnasium renovation, but some examples that we've done in the past are the YWCA had wanted to build out a business incubator. So they, needed to do work on a computer lab and some meeting spaces. And they had an entrepreneurship program. So that was something that we had covered in the past. We've also done like a music, like theater space that is connected to a school, but that theater space was going to be open to the community and allow community artists, to have a place to perform, their concerts as well. So sometimes it is a little bit of a gray area. We just need to look at the application based on what you're telling me right now, Maurice. There's no kind of red flags to say we can't do it for sure.
Okay, thank you. Sounds good.
Anything else? Okay. In that case, I will turn things over. Back to you, Ernest.
Thanks so much, Sophia. So I will start to reshare my screen. Here we are. Okay, so yeah, any other further questions, feel free to reach out to Sophia. I will drop her email address in the chat, but there it is on the screen, so you all are aware. So up next is a update on the Joint Public Safety Training Campus Phase 1A, the out parcel development there. Just wanted to give you all an update on the engagement workshops. There is one this afternoon from 4:30 to 5:30, where the design consultant will kind of show, kind of give a recap of different workshops of what's happened in the prior engagement sessions. It's open to all. And other than, all I have is reach out to me for the link if you would like to attend virtually. I will gladly pass that over and share with you all the link to that meeting. So next up is our corridor RFP update. From last time, I know there was a little bit of information that we were holding back just to get some confirmations on what was coming or what our team was for the corridor. And I am glad to update you all finally on who our team is. So here we are. So our consultant team, our team of consultants, thanks to CCAC that are working pro bono on kind of looking into the sites that we've been talking about over the past few months, the opportunity sites and kind of the feedback on what we'd like to see on the corridor, consists of JGMA, Juan Gabriel Moreno Architects, Belgravia Group as the developer consultant, Integra Realty Resources as the market analysis consultant, and McHugh Construction as a construction consultant. This team collectively is working in a pro bono fashion for us to kind of see the opportunities along the corridor that we've been talking about. Their work is going to help inform on the creation of an RFP further on for redevelopment on our corridor. So I wanted to walk through some examples of their work, at least JGMA and Belgravia. So this first project here is the Kilo Residences, which is down near Washington Park in the south side. One of their recent projects that they've completed. Another project that JGMA has worked on recently is the Esperanza Wellness Center in Little Village. So they're experienced in housing and wellness centers, as well as a multitude of different project background types in architecture. Belgravia, development-wise, some recent projects that they've worked on is seen here, Triangle Square, which is in Bucktown. Another development project that they've recently worked on in the West Loop is a residential development entitled CA6. So this screen here. So a little of the backgrounds of things. At least today, kind of wanted to introduce you all to the team visually, at least on this side of things. Oops. Oh, there we are. And kind of the schedule of things that is kind of going forth. Oops, there we are. So last week we had a few select stakeholder interviews, talking to some of the stakeholders along the corridor to kind of get their insights. Out of last month's roundtable, kind of informed the team on the opportunity sites we were looking at for potential redevelopment along the corridor. Their visioning workshop with the community is coming up this Friday from 1 to 2:30. We hope that you all can be there. Please spread the word. It is open to all. And we really want to get the insights of the community at this visioning workshop of kind of some of the preliminaries they've been looking at based off of the feedback I've given them from our roundtables over the past few months. So continuing on, there will be some kind of internal work I'm doing on my side of draft presentation to the Community Development Commission to make them aware that we want to have a redevelopment on this corridor. There will be a follow-up visioning session based off of the feedback that we have on this Friday. This Friday's visioning workshop, which will be later on in the month of March. It's not listed here, but that time that time and date will come, and I will let you all know via email ahead of time when that will be. Definitely, we'll review things again at the next roundtable, which is March 24th, and then. Shortly thereafter, formal RFP will be produced and made available for different developer groups to respond to. And then in the summer, those RFP responses will be due back into the city. So as a recap of a little bit of what I went over last month, you know, the goal of the Invest Southwest, our goal of kind of these 10 different corridors across the city is to create a response to the community feedback of what they'd like to see on the corridor. We're looking to reactivate neighborhood cores that have been historically served as focal points for pedestrian activity, shopping services, transportation, public services, and quality of life amenities for residents. The RFPs, you know, they're going to take a step further and illustrate everything that we talked about in these roundtables. And be a more, serve as a more robust description of uses desired by the community. The RFPs are also built on available incentives that we can bring to the table and make sure a redevelopment can stand. And we're going to partner those incentives with the proposed development to ensure a high level of financial feasibility. So, you know, an RFP is not a plan. So what you'll see ahead of on Friday, it is not set in stone. It is just a vision of what could potentially be on the site. The RFP in return and what will be in the final RFP, developers will respond to, will make their own proposal with their own designs and programs that ideally align closely, but not 100% to what the RFP is envisioning, but also that doesn't mean like it's going to be wildly different. Our release schedule for our group of RFPs that are going out is kind of shown here, kind of from start to end, what it may be. So what we're doing with the creation of the RFP, we're looking that towards the latter half of 2023, something will be constructed along Chicago Avenue. So ahead of Friday, I wanted to give you all a view of what the opportunity sites, I've been talking with the development team for the RFP of what they will be based off of our feedback. So we're going to be looking at 4 different sites. We kind of ruled out the site down by Kells Park just because of Kells Park is going through soon a renovation and expansion. and we're not sure where that may or may not end. Trying to figure that out interdepartmentally with the park district of what the expansion of their park may or may not be. So we're going to be looking at these 4 different sites, and I'll walk through what these sites are as a recap. So the 801 North Pulaski site, we will be looking at and seeing how this opportunity site is envisioned. As a recap, it's the currency exchange location, as well as city-owned lands that are just to the north and east of the currency exchange. Secondarily, 3831, 3853 West Chicago Avenue. Oops. So again, this is a site bookends by city-owned lots with some commercial spaces in between. In the interim, between our last roundtables, and now I've been able to reach out to the owner and understand that there are current tenants here on the site. I know from the just kind of the day-to-day of going by, it doesn't appear that there are any tenants inside. So we're going to be trying to look at some options of what may be the site. Kind of what I have here shown a little bit is maybe some explorations we'll see on Friday of the site with city-owned lands or just city-owned lands by themselves that we're looking into further exploring. Third is the site by Dr. Michael Early. Recall it's this building here. So we're going to be looking into what potentially could be of this site, how this could be redeveloped in some way that serves the community's vision. And lastly, a 4th site that came of recent and just conversations with the team is looking at some vacant lots towards the eastern end of our site. Here's kind of like an overall aerial of things. The city actually owns kind of like this kind of little passageway here, which kind of reaches back to a tiny parklet that the park district owns, entitled Park Number 432. So the team is going to be kind of looking at potentially how can something happen on some private lots that respects kind of this passageway back towards the parklet, and kind of works in between what's already there. So just kind of going into the visioning workshop, kind of the agenda we'll be following for that day. There will be a welcome that I'll give, kind of some of the workshop goals, looking a little bit into previous planning efforts, understanding a bit of the market conditions of our corridor, and then kind of looking at those opportunity sites, what the development consultants have created as us to kind of look at as an initial vision. And we'll go into the breakout groups to kind of get deeper dives into feedback. And then we'll join everybody back together into a full group to have a greater discussion on just kind of what everyone talked about in different breakout groups. And we'll use those, everything that was talked about as further refinement as we work towards an RFP of okay, this is what our community has said based off of this initial options that have been displayed. And then just a little bit about next steps of kind of what I've mentioned before. So some of the community priorities that I've already shared are what's on the screen here of things that we've talked about previously. Making investments in student and youth through social spaces, the potentials of a cafe, working in some way with the public library, or even having like a small communal library or lending library, free library of some sort. Communal space for people to gather on the corridor, to hang out, improve communication between neighborhood departments and city departments, developments and initiatives that increase a sense of public safety along the corridor, interest in health and wellness services coming to the corridor, interest in a greater or sense of unification of the corridor, from the signage, banners, streetscape improvements, and such forth, and potentially a housing development along the corridor. So I'll pause there to kind of open up to just have a greater discussion. Along that, if anyone has any questions with regards to Friday's visioning workshop, and anything further. So feel free to ask away.
Ernest, this is Adrienne. I just want to know if you have sent the link for the visioning workshop so we can share it with the community.
Yes, I've sent everyone at least, and I'll back out of here. I've sent a link initially. If you check your email inboxes, I will send the link again to everyone so that they're aware of Friday's visioning workshop, what the link is. But yeah, I could send that again. Any other further questions?
And that's from 1 to 2:30?
Correct. That is 1
Okay.
to 2:30.
I did receive that. Quick question. We had a brief discussion at the last meeting about the opportunities at the corner of Chicago and Hamlin with the medical building there, and then Abraham as a local developer owning all the lots next door to that. Is that something that we were going to add to these on the map as a possible site? I don't want to speak for Abe, but there's an opportunity there with a local developer and an existing medical facility.
So that was Chicago and Hamlin. Yeah. So that site in particular, that wasn't explored in that we couldn't easily, we felt like we couldn't easily secure the site or have those discussions ahead of time to kind of look into that deeper dive. So that was left off the table for this visioning workshop. I will preface and say that, this isn't a one and done shot, in that, like, looking at the corridor, we'll continually look over this corridor beyond this RFP process to make sure that we're looking at opportunities that can be envisioned on this site. So by no means is this like a one and done process.
Right. Okay. No, it's just that, with Abraham owning, I think, 4 lots, correct me if I'm wrong, and an existing medical facility right there at the corner. Abe?
Yeah. So I think the facility is 3800 West Chicago, if not something close to that. I own 3750, 48, 46, 44, 42, and I believe the northwest lot on the intersection of Chicago and Ridgeway is a city-owned lot.
I think it was also, and we talked about the health center. I think there's already, if I'm not mistaken, Ernest, is it Erie Health has already been talking to the city or about the corridor? Am I right? And
Well,
the health center that's up there now is a different health center?
Oh, Erie has initially mentioned to us that they're interested within the west side of doing a new development, but that's all. It's just understanding, us understanding from them that they're interested in doing something on the west side, whether it be our corridor, our immediate corridor, or elsewhere. That's unknown, but they are interested in doing something on the west side.
Yeah, because I know they came to one of the roundtables, I think a few months back, maybe it was sometime last year, they were at the roundtable, and I can't recall the conversation, but it seems like they had been talking to someone on the city level about the corridor. So I just want to throw that out since John brought that up.
Yeah, I just want to keep it on the city's radar that that's an entire city block on Chicago Avenue where the city owns one lot, Abe owns all the rest, and I think it's a church is the only other owner on that block.
That's
I
correct.
believe, yeah. And then there's the health center that's on
Right,
the
the health
corner.
center on an
the
active
corner.
medical center affiliated with the hospital, with St. Mary and Elizabeth Hospital, right there on the corner. So I just want to keep this on the front burner that there could be an amazing opportunity there as well. And of course, Abe is on the call and he's, a local stakeholder and a developer.
Yeah.
And I don't have any ownership interest in any of it. But I do see that, and I think others might chime in and agree that positive activity is the only thing. And, Chicago and Ridgeway is not a very nice place most days and nights in terms of illegal activity. And so, creating a huge new influx of investment and positive activity could really make a huge difference for public safety. And please, anybody chime in if they're.
Well, I think you're right, but and at the same time, we have to remember we want it to be utilized by the public and community. So, I think we need to strategically put stuff up and down the corridor to squeeze out, some areas that are not desirable. But we definitely don't want to put up a development with all these services and we haven't squeezed out those elements, because people won't, the ice cream shop is a prime example. As beautiful as it is, and definitely wish it would be open this summer. There's a problem that people are just, they may come if Abe opens, but I'm sure, Abe is concerned about safety. So this is a lot to think about right now.
Yeah, and we intend on opening this summer.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do. Absent, God
Great.
forbid, a crisis with COVID, we do plan, so long as it's safe to do so. We plan on opening in a few.
Great. That's great.
Right.
I'll be there.
And combined with its proximity to Roe Clark, I just think it's an amazing opportunity. So my only point is, if we could keep that on the radar, on the map, as there's real opportunity there.
Yeah, both sides of Road Clark, and we're talking about the church, pharmacy, health clinic, and everything behind that also, which is Central Park is pretty hot too. And then you have Road Clark there, something close to the school where the kids can have that additional, so there's a lot of possibilities. I agree. But we definitely need those vacant buildings dealt with. And the building across from the school, across from our office, it's huge and it will be a problem.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to be the squeaky wheel.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
get left out.
You're right, John. We'll just put 2 buildings up, Ernest. How's that?
I just want to
Bookend.
see a little box around it on the map, so it's
Yeah.
just not forgotten about if I get hit by a bus.
You're not gonna get hit by a bus, but we're gonna put a box around it because we're gonna do something with it. I agree. You hear that, Ernest? We want 2 buildings, 2 sites.
All right, well, I'll do my best to kind of see what I can do on my end and see about that. But definitely, yeah. Well, this is great hearing this in here.
Ernest, I have one more question about the Kels Park thing. I know
Yes.
It sounds like maybe you don't have much details, but could you expand on that? Just what might be happening or not happening?
Yeah, so Kels Park will eventually be expanded. From what I've been able to hear from my partners over at the Park District, there is a plan for a redevelopment of it, which kind of expands, takes into ownership some lands that are kind of going down Kedzie near the old fire station. But I don't know more than that. I haven't seen any plans. And they're still working through some things on their end, but that.
But just
Yeah,
keep
that's
it in the
helpful.
box. Keep the box around it.
That's
the
helpful. Thank
plans
you.
The plans are to extend that park area for a little,
No, because the football
movies in the
team,
park.
football
movie in
team
the park.
needs a place to practice. So they've been
Yeah. Oh, Ellen, it's already done. Don't worry, it's a done
they
deal.
work with Nita to practice there, but yes
Yeah.
and yes to that.
Well, the park is there, but it's not in the 100% condition.
Ernest,
Yeah.
I had a quick question on the last parcel of land you were speaking of on the 3346 West Chicago Avenue and 3345 West Rice Street. I was just trying to get a visual of that.
Yep.
And you said some of that was a city-owned parcel.
Yeah, let me bring it back on the screen so everyone can see it all together. Yes. So
This is Alicia.
Yes,
You know,
it
that's
is,
that
Alicia.
Holman in Chicago Avenue, and that's also the park area that he was referring to. Is that area where that skate park from that participatory budget was supposed to be placed. So it's where that little open space is.
And that's where the city put in a lot of money for the stormwater right there. So underneath that is a lot of drainage for the flooding. So hope they don't tear that up, but interesting.
The
so
team
who owns the lot next to that going east? It's not circle. I'm not east, west.
Yes. So we're
Not that one, the next one.
This one.
Yeah, in the front on Chicago. Is that a lot or is that a building?
This is a building here.
Okay.
With a little parking lot behind it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that seems kind of active right now with some active commercial uses. But here we're thinking, these are vacant lands. you know, if what can be envisioned on those vacant lands and just infill, just not having a vacant piece of land, but, you know, having something there that continues the rhythm of Chicago Avenue with buildings instead of having just a private lot that has nothing developed on it.
Do we have a sense of it looks like 3 lots, privately owned lots beside the Park District parcel? Is that an owner that is looking to develop, or is it someone sitting on their bar of gold hoping to hit it rich one day?
So we're
I
still
thought the
looking at,
Salvation Army.
yes.
Oh, the Salvation Army owns it.
No, are you talking about by Kells Park, John?
No. The lots directly beside the Park District lot there at 3347, that's the Park District owns.
Yes. So I just to interject, Keith is correct in that we believe that the Salvation Army owns this immediate lot just to the east of the parklet. But these are along Chicago Avenue. These are in between the city-owned lots. Are 2 different private owners that we're not sure of yet. We kind of know some information on them, but we're still trying to connect out and reach out with them, see who they are.
Oh, so the car repair shop does not own that lot? They rent that lot? The big one?
This big one here?
Yeah.
Still looking into that.
Okay.
But,
yeah, we've
you know,
always assumed that the owner across the street of the car repair shop, because he parks all his cars there, we always assumed that he owned that lot.
Yeah, I think that is correct. I mean, for years, he's been utilizing that space. But I would think that he would own it. I mean, he's been in business for numerous of years, a long time.
Yeah, what's the name of the shop?
I know his name is George. I forget the name of it. I forgot.
Yeah, so it's the car repair shop right across the street that we believe the owner of that repair shop owns that lot.
And I don't think it's
It was
really
Rojas.
active
It was George Rojas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't-
George doesn't own it anymore. He sold it, but they kept the
Right.
name.
Oh,
And I'm not
Right.
sure the parking lot that's on that north side. I think they may be renting that parking lot. It may be
Yeah.
owned by somebody
Yeah.
else.
Right.
But
I
it is
think you're
privately
right.
owned.
And it's not very
Mhm.
active because it's sort of overgrown and left.
Oh, so you know what would be a wonderful thing if that's a privately owned lot and it's not owned by Rojas. You know, they're not really following any of the ordinances of the city about, you know, weeds and fencing and all that kind of stuff. It's an eyesore.
Right, it is.
Well, it is fenced in, I believe.
It
But
is
yeah,
fenced in.
they don't. And I know that they've been cited, and then they have cleaned it up, and then they've been cited again. So I know that Streets and Sand has talked to them on a couple occasions. They also own the vacant lot that's adjacent to the repair shop, the auto body shop that's on the south side of the street, right next to them. So yeah, and
So
that
not
they've also
model
had to be.
owners.
No, not necessarily. No. You know, I live right around the corner, so I'm pretty much aware of.
Oh yeah, I mean,
some of the-
their
yeah.
fence, if nothing else, it collects trash 12 months out of the year.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
well, that can be site number 2. We want 3 sites. So
I like how you're talking.
Dream big, dream big.
we gotta go 3 sites. You know
Well,
what?
and we know that there's a
Okay.
history of private owners sitting on these lots, putting nothing into them for years and years and years, hoping their gold mine will sometime pay off, but they're not actually putting any
They're not putting anything into it.
investment.
No, they're not. And
And
they're
so-
holding them and selling
So
them
we're gonna
at
get the
a
community to
1,000%
find out the
more.
address, and we're gonna do a march to their house and, you know, demand that either they come up with a plan, a community-driven plan, or they sell whatever they need to do, but no more of this just land banking and leaving this stuff vacant and nothing being going on. So
That's
we'll
right.
do a West Humboldt Park eminent domain initiative.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take it.
Keith and Adrian, I'll work with you on that. Let's take photos of his lot and send it to him and all his neighbors in whatever suburb he lives in and say, you know, I hope he's a better homeowner than
John
he is.
is radical. You're radical.
That's
I
what we
love
have
it.
to do.
We got about
No more of
50
this being politically correct. We have to go radical.
Let's do
Shame-
that because we have
Shame is a
several.
powerful tool.
Yeah,
Let's do
power
that.
to the people.
The city didn't hear that, right? You guys didn't hear what we just said.
No, well, the city did. She was away from her. From the Zoom.
Yeah, Adrian,
Okay.
Adrian, I heard nothing. I didn't hear a thing.
Good, because we're going to do it. John is our leader and I'm following.
I've got 2 vacant lots on Garfield Boulevard. I want to do the same thing. They've been owning it for 20 years and thousands of dollars of fines going unpaid, and it still looks like a hot mess.
Yep, I'm with you,
Okay.
John. Let's talk. Keith?
Oh, yes, that's,
Okay.
we gotta get really progressive, aggressive, and just all out, just set.
That's right.
As they say now, and we gotta get savage about it, okay? So, so you have to do.
Well, I'm encouraged by the energy here, and I can't wait to see how it transitions over into Friday's visioning workshop. We're getting close to time, so I will definitely take back some of the discoveries we talked about here today and share with the group ahead of Friday's meeting, visioning workshop, and also keep abreast of that as we kind of go forth and kind of coordinate with Adrian accordingly. So
Could we get a box around the lots at between Chicago and Hamlin and Ridgeway?
for Friday, it's a too close of a call, but I will definitely keep track of it because these roundtables aren't going to stop. So
Okay.
yeah.
I just want my box on the map.
All right.
Appreciate you.
No problem. So just quickly, some next steps. So again, the community visioning workshop, the first one is going to be Friday, 1 to 2:30. What you're seeing on the screen for visioning workshop 2 is a tentative date. It may change. So ideally that week is going to be roughly the week we're targeting for a second community workshop, visioning workshop. I will let you all know when we nail that as an exact date, what that date will be, but it'll be, for sure, it's going to be sometime during that week. And then our next roundtable will be March 24th. And I'm sure during that roundtable, you know, I'll be basically letting everybody know on this call right ahead of kind of standing up an RFP of how things are with that RFP. And as always, feel free to reach out to me via email. My email address is there. Adrian knows how to get a handle of me as well. We regularly communicate. So that's it for today. Unless anybody has any last questions.
I just want to say, if you can, everyone that's on this call to be at the visualing meeting, even if you have to put your earphones in your ear and keep it moving, I'll send a link out to our community networking so we can have community in there and partners, and Ellen could send it out to her parents, John could send it out to, we just want everyone. And I don't know, do you have a cap on how many people you can put in a room or how many rooms you could have, Ernest? Does it matter?
you know,
'Cause we
we're
can get
targeting-
1,000 people in there, I bet.
I off the top of my head, I cannot recall what the Zoom cap is, but I know we're gonna at least have 4 breakout rooms. You know, if we have 50 people show up, we'll be happy.
And how are you going to control, you know, muting and all that? Will you control that?
Yep. You know, Zoom kind of, as the presenter, gives you some controls, or you can do
Okay.
things like that. So we'll be
Okay.
with that on our end.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So quick technical question.
Yes.
If I'm inviting a few homeowners to Friday's session, could you send like an email with the link that's very affordable, like with like the
Yes. With the Zoom link, and
almost like a flyer show, you know, so when I send it to them, like, oh, I get this, John. Yeah. I can, yeah. So with the link, but enough information in it. If I forward it to someone, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. I'll do it.
okay, yeah, I'll work on that and work on getting that out to everyone.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect, but something that I can just forward and say, hey, I want you to come here. I think this would be interesting. We need your input.
Yeah. Will do.
And if you don't have time, Ernest, you send me the link and I'll get something out tonight to John, and so we can send it out.
I think to everybody maybe, because I can,
Yeah, I mean, we'll send it out and then they could disperse it to everyone else. Cause you know, tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah. Well, sounds like a plan.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
guys.
And
Thank you,
see you on
Ernest. Appreciate
Friday.
you.
thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
all.